Now, after completing the orientation of the bony landmarks at the base of the skull, let's see the attachment of the muscles of the soft palate. So the soft palate having 5 pairs of the muscles, and these 5 pairs of the muscles, they are the tensor veli palatini, levator veli palatini, musculus uvuli, palatoglossus, and palatopharyngeus. Now let's see the attachment of the tensor veli palatini muscle. This tensor veli palatini muscle, it is going to arise from the three structures from the base of the skull, and this is going to arise from inferior aspect of the petrous part of the temporal bone just near the apex of the petrous part. This tensor veli palatini, it is also going to arise from this carotid sheath, and here within the sulcus tubi there lies cartilaginous portion of the auditory tube, and from the medial lamina of this cartilaginous part of the auditory tube the tensor veli palatini muscle is also going to arise. So this tensor veli palatini, it is going to arise from the three areas: from the inferior part of the petrous part of the temporal bone just near the apex, from the carotid sheath, and from the medial lamina of the cartilaginous portion of the auditory tube. And from here this muscle becomes triangular in shape, and it passes downward and reaches up to the pterygoid humulus. So somewhere here the pterygoid humulus lies, which is broken down here, and this tendon of the tensor veli palatini, it will passes just lateral to the pterygoid humulus, and it turns the direction of the muscle and going to attach toward the hard palate and the palatine crest. So it forms a flattened aponeurosis, and this flattened aponeurosis, it is the palatine aponeurosis. On the same side, this muscle, it is going to arise from these three areas, and it is a triangular in shape and passes downward and reach up to the pterygoid humulus, which is going from where it changes the direction of the muscle and going to insert over the palatine crest as well as the posterior part of the hard palate. And this flattened tendon of the both the side, it is going to form the palatine aponeurosis, and which is in the midline, it is split by one muscle, and that is the musculus uvuli. When this tensor veli palatini muscle is get contracted, it depresses the anterior part of the soft palate, as well as it is also responsible for the dilatation of this auditory tube, and that's why the other name of this muscle, it is the dilator tubi. So this triangular muscle, it is the tensor veli palatini muscle. Now let's see the levator veli palatini muscle. We will draw this levator veli palatini muscle in a green color so we can easily differentiate it from the tensor veli palatini. For the better understanding of this levator veli palatini, we have removed the origin portion of this tensor veli palatini and try to see the origin of the levator veli palatini. This levator veli palatini, it is also going to arise from the three structures. It is going to arise from the scaphoid fossa of the medial pterygoid plate, from the lateral lamina of the cartilaginous part of the auditory tube, and from the spine of the sphenoid. So this levator veli palatini, it is going to arise from the spine of the sphenoid, from the lateral lamina of the cartilaginous part of the auditory tube, and from the scaphoid fossa. And this muscle, it passes downward and enters within the pharynx through the gap between the skull and the superior constrictor, and that gap, it is called as a sinus of Morgagni. So this muscle passes through the sinus of the Morgagni and reach up to the superior surface of the palatine aponeurosis, where it is going to insert, and of the opposite side also, with the opposite muscle, this levator veli palatini, it is going to form one U-shaped sling on the upper part of the palatine aponeurosis. And this levator veli palatini muscle, it is inserted over the upper portion, or we can say superior surface of the palatine aponeurosis, between the anterior and posterior fasciculi of the palatopharyngeus muscle, which we are going to see shortly. When this levator veli palatini muscle get contracted, it will responsible for the elevation of the soft palate, and therefore it is responsible for closing the oropharyngeal isthmus. This levator veli palatini muscle is responsible for elevation of the soft palate, and therefore it is responsible for the closing the pharyngeal isthmus. Now let's see the third muscle, that is the musculus uvuli. And this musculus uvuli muscle, it is arises from the posterior nasal spine somewhere here, and passes downward and backward within the tubular sheath of the palatine aponeurosis, and inserted into the submucous tissue of the base of the uvula itself. So here we can find the uvula. So this musculus uvuli, it is inserted within the submucous portion of this uvula. Uvula is nothing but it is the projection or downward hanging from the soft palate in the midline. So now we can say that this musculus uvuli muscle, which is present within the palatine aponeurosis. So palatine aponeurosis, it is split to enclose this musculus uvuli muscle. When this musculus uvuli muscle contract, it pulls the uvula forward to its own side. Let's orient with this figure. This is the thyroid cartilage. Here this is the hard palate. This is the soft palate. This structure is the epiglottis. This is the wall of the pharynx. This process is the styloid process, and this is the opening of the auditory tube. The palatopharyngeus muscle, it is going to arise from the anterior and posterior fasciculus, and the anterior fasciculus, it is going to arise from the hard palate as well as the upper surface of the anterior part of the palatine aponeurosis, and the posterior fasciculus, it is going to arise from the upper surface of the lower part of the palatine aponeurosis. And both these fasciculi, they are unite at the posterolateral border and going to form a single tendon, which is going to insert at the three sides. First, at the posterior border of the thyroid lamina, along with the salpingopharyngeus and stylopharyngeus muscle. The tendon of these three muscles, they are going to form a single conjoint tendon, and this conjoint tendon, it passes downward and going to insert over the posterior free border of the thyroid lamina of the same side. Another area where this palatopharyngeus muscle is insert, that is on the median raphe of the pharynx, and the third area where this palatopharyngeus muscle is insert, that is along with the opposite sided palatopharyngeus muscle, it is going to fuse with it, and this will form the ridge around the pharyngeal wall, and that ridge, it is called as a Paswan's ridge. So Paswan's ridge is nothing but it is the ridge formed by the fusion of the both the sided palatopharyngeus muscle and this ridge is at the junction of oropharynx and nasopharynx. So this muscle, it is the anterior and posterior fasciculi of the palatopharyngeus muscle. When this palatopharyngeus muscle get contract, it will lead to the elevation of the larynx and pharynx, and it also responsible for closing the pharyngeal isthmus by opposing the palatopharyngeal arches. So this palatopharyngeus muscle, it runs within the palatopharyngeal arch. Now in between the two fasciculi of the palatopharyngeus muscle, we have already discussed that there is the attachment of the levator veli palatini muscle. Now the palatoglossus muscle, it is going to arise from the inferior surface of the palatine aponeurosis, and from the inferior surface of the palatine aponeurosis, this muscle is going to insert over the tongue at the junction of the anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3. And at the site of the insertion, this palatoglossus muscle, it is continuous with the transverse muscles of the tongue. And here within the palatine aponeurosis, we find the musculus uvuli origin. When this palatoglossus muscle it passes, it is covered with one mucus fold, and that mucus fold, it is called as the palatoglossal arch. So we know that the palatoglossus muscle, it passes along with the palatoglossus arch, while the palatopharyngeus muscle, it passes through the palatopharyngeal arch, and in between the two there is a tonsillar fossa lies, and within the tonsillar fossa the tonsil lies. The contraction of this palatoglossus muscle, it elevates the base of the tongue and it closes the oropharyngeal isthmus. Now, after having proper orientation of all the 5 pairs of the muscles of the soft palate, let's see some important fact regarding the soft palate muscles. So here we can appreciate this is the hard palate and this is the soft palate, and the soft palate is the meeting place of the 3 U-shaped slings, and these 3 U-shaped slings, they are formed by this levator veli palatini from above, and when it get contracts, it will elevate the soft palate. Second sling, it is formed by this palatoglossus muscle, and when this sling get contract, it will depress the soft palate. And one more sling, it is formed by this palatopharyngeus muscle, and it is going to meet with the opposite sided palatopharyngeus muscle to form the Paswan's ridge. When this palatopharyngeal sling get contract, it will approximate the soft palate with the Paswan's ridge, and it will close the nasopharyngeal isthmus.